What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this is shop update number 2. Not much going on, so we're going to touch upon 3 topics. First one that obviously can't really show you. We didn't record too much, unfortunately, but it'll be our track day that we did over at Maple Grove Raceway in Pennsylvania. Second thing we got going on is a brand spanking new 2025 Audi Q7. I believe it's the 55 TFSI? No?
3.0.
3.0. All right. It's the V6. It's turbocharged. I do believe it's a hybrid. Doing a RaceChip install. So on this one, we're hearing conflicting information as far as functionality. RaceChip has 2 divisions. They have headquarters over in Germany, and then they have their USA division. US division saying that it might need a software upgrade, and the harness works. Germany is saying, no, you should be good to go. Just plug in. This unit is from an older Q7, so we'll see if it works. And the third one's going to be the M340 that we are still waiting on the CSF manifold for, and the G80's charge pipe. So now what we're going to do, since we have some downtime in relation to waiting for the race version of the CSF heat exchanger, rather intercooler, not the heat exchanger, the charge air cooler, we're going to go ahead and send the DME out to Femto. We didn't do the first unlock. It's already unlocked, but it's not custom ROM. This was one of the early adopters for, the whole DME unlocks back in 2021 or 2020. I'm not entirely sure. But this M340 does not have custom ROM. So we are going to utilize the downtime that the car is still here since the last update, send out the DME, do the custom ROM, anything that we can do as far as, features from Femto, get that DME back, hopefully in tandem with the charge air cooler coming in, and then send that car, boost test it, make sure we don't have any leaks in there, and send the car out to the customer. So our track day. Joe over at Bimmer Hub set up a track day a couple of weeks ago, said, hey, I'm trying to get 20 spots filled. Joe was chasing a record in his Gen 1 B58 F30 built engine, the whole 9. He went absolutely fucking crazy on that build. And unfortunately, the last couple testing tunes he went to, I think he was at a 9.1 or 9.2. He's chasing 8s, was chasing 8s. And he kept blowing up axles. So crazy Joe, he had I guess a car full of genuine BMW axles, because for the F chassis there's nothing that's upgrade ready in stock. It's all going to be built to order. So a company like Drive Shaft Shop, even if you wanted to place an order with us for upgraded axles for your F chassis 340, we would have to send in a core, and it would take 6 to 8 weeks, and that could turn into 8 to 12 weeks. So 20 spots. October 30th was the date, so those spots filled up quick. The really cool thing was that these spots filled up with a lot of G80's, G82's. Some of the world's fastest G80's were out there. STI Mikey showed up. He didn't run it. Jordan from Arcade Tunes was out there. I'm not sure if he ran his G80. And Powerhouse was out there. Autocroft was out there. There was a lot of fast G80's. Kies Motorsports came with both their M3 and Andrew's M340, which I believe he set a personal best. Actually, no, he set a world record on the Gen 2 M340 chassis. I want to say 8.6 or an 8.86. Their cars ran absolutely great. The green M3 was consistently running low 9s. One of those G80's out there was consistently running low 8.2, 8.2, 8.3 consistently all day, beating the crap out of him. So, it was pretty cool for us because it was the first time we ever did a quarter mile. And again, our G80 is for the most part stock, so to speak. Intake, tune, full titanium exhaust, Owens, which does help a little bit at the track. But in relation to these other G80's, we weren't going to compete, and no one was competing. It was actually a really cool atmosphere. It was a test and tune. So we had the thought process of trailer in the G80 because, number one, Maple Grove is 2.5 hours away from here one way. So that's 5 hours, and initially we wanted to just send it, right? Blow it up. We know the stock clutch is slipping. It has been slipping. We did not upgrade it. We didn't replace anything. And if we blow an axle, we pop a clutch, whatever, push it on the trailer, and we just trailer it back home. So no footage. I'll throw some pics in here so you can check it out. I had the genius idea of towing the G80 on, we borrowed a good friend's trailer. It was a 20-foot open trailer. When I went to pick up the trailer and I saw the trailer, I was like, wow, this is a really big trailer. So our E70 is the N63 twin turbo V8, plenty torque, plenty enough torque to pull that. But unfortunately, it doesn't have third row. So E70 with no third row doesn't get air suspension, which I was well aware of. I probably destroyed those rear shocks on the way there and the way back. But for what it's worth, I'll get to that in a second, the X5 was great. So we didn't send it. I only did 2 passes in the G80 at Maple Grove because you have to now push a dead car onto a trailer. And then when we get back here, we need to figure out a way to unload that dead car, push it in the shop, find a spot for the car. And I guess you can say all the moments leading up to loading that car on the trailer and pulling it 2.5 hours. It's tedious, it's backbreaking work, and then to have to unload. Let's just say I would have popped the drive shaft, right? It's not necessarily easy to push that car in neutral. So we didn't have dollies on us, and we're just, we're busy, we're tired. I said, you know what, let me just shut it down after the second run. I don't want to keep, dumping the clutch and really trying to see what this car can do. So the first pass out there, I want to say it was a 12.5 at $121. Car felt great. Maple Grove was a fully prepped track. So that was a sticky track. And again, we are manual transmission. This is not as easy as just brake boosting and letting go, give it gas and go. So you can't use launch control because launch control only puts off, it put you in MDM mode, but you don't have traction fully off. So you will hurt the car if you try to launch that thing in launch control, what BMW gives you. Then you're really talking about putting a lot of stress on the driveline. So traction was fully off, a lot of wheel hop on that first run. Car felt great going down the track. Second run, I believe, was a 12.063.
Yeah, they only had 3.
At $124. And again, I didn't do the greatest burnout. As far as prep goes, because I didn't want to destroy that clutch. So I did a little bit of a mini burnout before, and she bogged really bad out of the gate, and I lost a lot of time. So realistically, there's no reason why, with the proper parts in the car, as far as an upgraded clutch, drive shaft, axles, and diff. I'll get to that in a second. So with the proper parts in the car, there's no reason why she can't go somewhere in the 10s, right? Realistically speaking, which is pretty impressive for a basic bolt-on manual transmission BMW. So going down the track and banging into each gear, that diff, I felt the rear end moving a lot. There was a lot of deflection on that diff mount. So we're going to have to figure out a way to lock that down and stop that from happening, prevent that deflection from occurring going down the track. But either way, for what it's worth, it drove good. The only thing I don't like, BMW, if you're watching this video, I'm trying to figure out why the car says damage to vehicle has occurred. I'm going to assume that it has to do something with the airbag system, and one of those sensors was getting tricked off the line. And then the second pass, almost at the end again, would ding and say damage to vehicle. And it wouldn't go away until you restart the car. And then I think Elise said the day after driving it, the error message randomly came back. So I don't know what's up with that. Not really a cause of concern. More from a consumer standpoint of just saying, hey, you offer launch control. Why do we have this issue with, damage to vehicle has occurred? So shut it down after the second pass. Pretty much was just spectating at that point. SCI Mikey did not run the car. Unfortunately, awesome guy, was able to chat with him, and I said, hey, I'm going to wait the whole day. Do you plan on running it? And he was super cool, really nice guy. Just said, the prep wasn't what he wanted. So as he explained to me, that car's making 1,400 pound-feet of torque. So you want to be ideal as far as, conditions for launching that and going down the track. So the fastest car of the day was PCAR's car, PCAR 992. I don't know what year it is, 2018, Audi R8, AIM Performance built, 2400 package. that thing is an absolute monster. I want to say it ran a 7.8 on the first pass, which is pretty cool.
Goddamn! Holy shit!
It makes me kind of regret not hopping into that platform a long time ago, but we're so invested in the BMW world that we have no choice but to stick with it. But yeah, you know, if you want a plug and play 6-second car all day, you know, R8 is the way to go. So that was pretty cool. Trailed up the car, loaded up the trailer, and then we pulled it back to Jersey, which was not fun. So, you know, your first time pulling 6,000 pounds. Trailer's 2,000 pounds dry. The G80 was 4,000 pounds. She's a fat pig. So it's kind of sketchy. You kind of got to get used to it. You know, be mindful. You're always checking your rear view mirrors, your side view mirrors to make sure for any traffic that's coming from the side, from behind. One of the things we had to do before we pulled this G80 out to Maple Grove, and we knew about this, the parking brake was not working. You can't pull a 20-foot trailer with 6,000 pounds and no parking brake. You need a parking brake. E70 is fully electric. So the actuator, common problem, they go bad. We just haven't had time to tackle it. Now we had to do it. So we replaced the parking brake actuator. And somewhere in PA on 78, it was a coincidence. I smelled burning rubber. And I'm sitting there going, well, why do I smell burning rubber? And then it got stronger. 30 seconds later, ABS, traction light, brake light, parking brake light. It fucking lit up the dashboard. And a bunch of error message. We pulled over, and we had the scan tool on us, so we whipped up the scan tool. We started checking everything. None of it made any sense. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there. Nas is checking all the codes, and I said, "Listen, check for trans codes, valve body codes." He's like, "No, dude. You know, EWS, EWG is fine. You know, but we have some transfer case codes and some parking brake codes." So at this point, while he's checking the scan tool, I see the fucking cog light for the trans show up, and I go, "You got to be fucking kidding me, right?" Now I got to figure out a way to tow this E70 with a 20-foot trailer back home. Blew up the transmission. Nas says, hold 1 second. So no communication with EWF. What module is the fucking parking brake module? EWF?
What was that?
EWF?
The electronic parking brake, EPB.
EPB. No communication possible. So he said, hold on 1 second. Hops under the back of the truck and click, clack, click, click, click. And the connector had popped off the fucking electronic brake actuator. Parking brake control module. So plugged that back in, had communication, cleared the codes, and sure enough, everything was good to go. So coincidence with the burn and smell, the plug came undone and we were good to go. So yeah, fun day. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of prep. Ideally next year we want to get a fully enclosed trailer, get our own tools dedicated for the trailer, and definitely hit a bunch of more track days, whether it's road racing or quarter-mile racing. So that'll be pretty fun. So let's take you in the shop and let's start with the Q7. All right, so here we have the Q7. This is a brand spanking new 2025 Q7, which I believe has, how many miles are on this?
200.
200 miles. So for the RaceChip, this came out of an older, same owner, but older Q7, and these have the same engine. So in theory, it should work. We're being told different information, so we're going to find out right now. This RaceChip utilizes just inputs from your harness A and harness B, which is going to be your boost pressure sensor. That's why we wrapped the front, by the way. Your boost pressure sensor and your intake manifold pressure sensor. There is no cam sensor on this harness. So we need to tee into these connectors in the vehicle, and then this is going to plug up to the RaceChip, and we'll see if we have power here, and then take it for a quick test drive and see if it works. The good news is if we have communication with this, that's a plus. So we're going to find out right now. The first thing you want to do, remove your engine cover. This is not a DIY video. I am not following RaceChip's instructions here because I train professional. So I'm going to do my own thing because it might be easier for me. So remove your engine cover. Then the intake manifold, your intake is integrated into the engine cover here. As you can see, this is your air filter here. So we're going to pop that out, which we already did. Put that over here. So you won't be able to see it too good on this video. Maybe you want to come from here. Our boost pressure sensor is going to sit right below this boost pipe over here, which is not fun to get to, so I decided to remove the pipe. So we're going to plug that up real quick over here. I'll even leave this pipe out for now just to verify we have communication with the RaceChip. And our other connection is going to be right over here. If you bring that camera right there, all right? So I already removed this one. You won't be able to see it. I'm going to take this one out now. When doing these installs, make sure you let the car go to sleep or disconnect the negative cable. We did not disconnect the negative cable, so we let it sit for about 10 minutes. Just put the key at least 30 feet away from the car. So see, this one's easy to get to. So now we're going to take our harness over here, and A is our boost pressure sensor. Let's see if I can get down in there. This one's not going to be too fun to get to. I think I got it. Nope. Yeah, nope. I'm doing this blind. Alternatively, you could pull the headlight or take out the wheel liner, but it's going to take more time than to take that boost pipe out. All right, I don't know if you heard that click. That's in. Now I have to get the stock harness in. Almost every single RaceChip I do, you have to end up using one hand because these connectors are in horrible locations. All right, so that is now fully seated. Now we're going to do our harness B, which is map sensor. That's going to go right here.
You should go under so that it's all corded nicely. There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, so that's hidden. Good job.
All right, so now that hooks up. Then we take the factory connector, plug that puppy in right over here, like so. So now we take our RaceChip here. We're going to plug it in like so. Okay, now the battery is still connected. Keys are in the office still. Let me grab the keys real quick. Hold on. Okay. Huh. Look at that.
Oh, turned on? Cool.
It turned on. Bluetooth's working, and we're in map 7, or stage 7, map 7, which I believe was a map 7, the last known.
Just so you guys know, this RaceChip is the GTS Black RaceChip, so it does come with app control. The owner of the vehicle is not here right now, but we will connect it so that he can use it from his app if he wants to. If not, set it and forget it. Never have to change it if you don't want to.
Right. Let's turn this on. Yep, no check engine light because we let the car go to sleep, and we got the RaceChip on. So now what we're going to do is put the intake back on, engine cover back on, hook up the boost pipe, and take it for a test drive.
Oh, I just said you guys do the RaceChip, that it's mounted properly.
Right, let's turn her off. All right, so I'm going to do that. We'll do it off camera. I want to show you guys something. Hold on one second on this Q7. It's a beautiful car. The interior smell on this thing reminds me of the leather from the BMWs in the early 2000s. I think they changed their suppliers using a different cowl, but the smell is identical to what the BMWs used to smell like in the 2000 to 2008 range. But let me show you something in the trunk right here real quick. So this has third row seating, and it's a beautiful truck, and here's why I'm not a fan. So the button here to control the third seat, third row, right? Come in, let me show you, come on. All right, so it will let me bring that seat all the way up to this bar. And when it hits the bar, there's a sensor that feels resistance, and it won't let you do it. Now, I got a crazy, see, it push it out. So look at that. What you should do, what BMW does, Audi guys, if this is clicked in, it won't allow you to even actuate the seats. It'll kill this button. You won't be able to put the third row seat up. So, not a big deal, but I guess one of my, I don't know what you call it, it kind of grinds my gears, but for what it's worth. So, last stuff on the agenda, let's go this way. Let me show you M340. Cool. So, this is the M340 that we are still waiting on our charge air cooler for. So, as you can see, we had the manifold out. We sent the old one back. We're just waiting on the replacement version, the upgraded race version, to get this in the car. Now, remember the charge pipe, right? That FTP charge pipe that we had, it deformed. It is a two-piece charge pipe, and so we were looking for solutions that were beefier than, you know, some thin aluminum. I'm going to show you why we decided to go with the G80's. So this is one piece of the pipe. Check this coupler out. This coupler has a spring clamp on there, right? So what happens is under boost, this pipe is going to expand. And what this spring does, look at the angle too. This is a nice silicone coupler. This spring is going to help keep some of that boost pressure from expanding this pipe too much. And what happens is that pipe, eventually this coupler is going to want to pull off that clamp on this pipe. So the reason why we went through G80's, I'll show you in just a second. Right here, check this out. 3mm thick, ribbed. So this will provide a better connection than just a simple aluminum connection with no ribs on there. So this should help us fight that issue with this pipe coming off, this coupler rather, coming off this pipe. So in the meantime, we're going to pull the DME out, which is super easy to do right here. Send this out to Femto because he's an early adopter, like I said before. Doesn't have custom ROM, kinds of need it with this power setup. So send the DME out, do the custom ROM, hopefully, you know, line up the arrival of that DME back with the charge air cooler, get the car out of here, obviously do a boost leak test and make sure all is good. So that's pretty much it. We still have this M54 here, the E92 that's getting the built engine and single turbo dock race kit. Waiting on some parts still, hammering out a little bit of things here and there, and that's M54 life. You know, if your deadline's going to be 2 weeks out, just add another 2 weeks. You always run into a problem with those cars. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We will do our very best to check in a week from you and give you guys an update of what's going on in the shop.